All right, so
wait, do you want?
all right. So we just got done watching Sailor Moon season 1, episode 24. Naru's Cry. Nephrite dies for love. So this episode is essentially a continuation of the last episode, and it follows this sort of string together arc of Naru's romantic interest for this tennis coach guy, who ultimately is our bad guy at the moment.
Yep.
Nephrite.
Yeah, certainly. And Naru is devastated and heartbroken when Usagi tells her that you shouldn't be seeing this. He's a bad, evil man. And
that was the last episode, though.
No, that was at the beginning of this episode. She's sitting there crying.
Oh right,
yeah.
We're picking up where we left off.
Yeah, picking up where we left off, and yeah. Let's see, where are we?
So basically, the black crystal is the big intrigue in this episode, which is sort of this thing that it gives away the location of the silver crystal, which is one of our big.
And then he was trying to see if it was, or Nephrite was trying to see if it was Naru.
He was theorizing that it was in Naru,
and he's at her bed when she's sleeping.
Yeah,
and he's holding the black crystal over her, and then he figures out it's not in her, and he's leaving, and then she wakes up, and then this is where they have like a little conversation, yeah. And a key quote from that I thought was a key quote was, "We betray and kill each other for our own gain," and he's speaking about the Dark Kingdom. He doesn't talk about the Dark Kingdom directly, but he says that he's a bad man and that like he's never felt love before, and that where he's from, they betray and kill for their own gain.
So tonally, this episode and the last few is really taking a turn. They're really running with this Naru subplot as a way to maybe finalize the Nephrite storyline. But it's very interesting that it definitely took on almost a Shakespearean tragedy.
Yeah.
In this episode, which I thought was very, very potent.
Yeah.
And it's really great that they've sort of allowed their sideline cast to really flesh out a story. Because the audience is more familiar with the characters now, and it's just fantastic.
Certainly, yeah.
This arc of Naru, is amazing. It's
amazing. And just seeing Nephrite go from being this very assertive, dominant kind of like bad guy to having a soft spot and actually falling in love with Naru. And then this is where I want to say Zoe Sites. Yeah, that's not whatever. And
sort of probably the next bad guy.
Probably the next bad guy.
Also sort of within the Dark Kingdom, the foil to Nephrite.
And he just starts doubting Nephrite altogether. He's talking crap about him. And then
so he sends his 3 minions.
Yeah, these kind of they had the vine or the tree
powers and stuff. Yeah,
and just these 3 women and that's a bit later on. They're just hanging. Yeah, they kidnap Naru, and but before they kidnap Naru calls Usagi very late at night when Nephrite leaves. Because Nephrite kind of used Naru. This is the time we see him using Naru, even though he's kind of in love with her, to get Sailor Moon. You see Usagi's like real identity to find out that she is Usagi,
and he knows that because
of the last episode when
in her Sailor Moon outfit she refers to Naru as Naru. So he's like, okay, well they're
friends. Yeah,
Naru knows probably who this is.
Yeah, and then this is when he finds out the Sailor Moon is Usagi, and then there's this kind of showdown.
Yeah.
And right off the bat, Tuxedo Mask saves the day right there.
Yeah.
No showdown. Nothing happens.
Is actually quite more powerful than he's let on in previous episodes.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah. And I thought it was funny that Usagi said, "Please don't tell." She's like, "Please don't." He's asking Nephrite, "Please don't tell anybody."
Tsukino. Yeah. And he's like, "Please don't tell my secret identity."
Yeah. She's not even worried. She's like, "Please don't tell." Tuxedo Mask saves the day, and then Nephrite comes to save Naru at this point after the Zoe Sites monsters captured her.
Yeah. Finds a note on her bed that says, "Bring me the black crystal. We won't hurt the girl." And he sort of has a flashback, sort of like a heaven-esque flashback
of Naru.
To how much Naru loves him, and realizing that is a very powerful thing.
Yeah.
And he is compelled to do it. Partially out of the ego of just not letting these guys mess with him, but also
that as well as him feeling and experiencing love for the first time, I guess, ever for him. And That's when we find out that he's a softie. Yeah. Oh, no, there's much more. There's much more. Yeah, I just wrote down Nephrite's a softie. Yeah. Because that's when I felt that soft spot.
Well, I
really actually felt for him for the first time. I didn't feel for him
initially,
before.
I would have probably rather hung out with, like, Jadeite. Just because, like, Jadeite seemed like kind of, like, normal, you know? Yeah. You could you know, he would probably be down to sit and watch some Sailor Moon, whereas Nephrite seems like, you know,
he's
all work and no play.
All work, no play, and he seems just a lot more emotionally distraught.
But it turns out that he's a big softie, and that, you know, he's a progressive. He's progressing. He had a full arc as a character.
Yeah.
So after he saves Naru, basically, he gets kind of hurt, and they dip off into a little corner, and they have a moment, and it was a very poetic moment, Naru and Nephrite, where she rips off part of her shirt, and ties it around
his wound, and then they kind of have like a nice chat. She says she wants to take him out for chocolate parfait,
and he says that would be nice, and she's like, "You're lying,"
and then this is where the three minion people whatever.
There's a key quote I wanted to mention.
Oh wait, yeah.
You know, so he's like, "I'm sorry, I've always lied to you. I've always been a liar, and I know that's wrong. And even if I'm still around and we still interact, I'm probably gonna lie to you. That's the nature of it. I work for an evil organization." Yeah. And she says to him, "You know, that's okay, because sometimes lies have good intentions."
Yeah, and that was.
That's very. And there's a cute moment where she asks him if he gets Sundays off from working at the evil organization.
Yeah, which is funny.
Super cute. She makes him laugh.
Yeah.
She makes Nephrite, of all people, laugh.
Yeah,
he looks very uncomfortable laughing, I will say.
Yeah,
it's kind of an awkward
it is, because you don't
animation moment.
He'd never laughed before this. He'd never even smiled before this. He's always...
Except when he thought he might have had,
He's always like that.
Yeah.
And then that's when the three, whatever...
Right as they're having a sweet moment, they shoot their tree magic right through his chest.
Yeah, well, they were...
very Dragon Ball moment.
Yeah.
Definitely tackles
right through his
Dragon
chest.
Ball.
And it's not like... It going through his chest is not what's going to kill him or what would kill him. It's that whatever they thought shot through that tree, whatever stuff, is taking away all his energy until he dies. Mm-hmm. So it suck all his energy until he dies, and then... Naru comes and starts pulling it out, and then they laugh. You think a human can pull that out?
Yeah.
But with the power of love, she starts slowly getting it out. Yeah. But she does not succeed. They hit both of them with some other kind of powered stuff, whatever. And
but then right when it seems like Naru's gonna go to, like, Nephrite, it's pretty much inevitable that he's gonna kick the can.
Yeah, especially because of the title.
It's in the title of the episode, which I find frustrating. But
sometimes, it's exciting too.
Yeah, it's exciting because you know it's gonna happen. You don't know how it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But so they're about to get Naru, and I actually had forgotten about this because it was just this little internal conflict they were having, and I didn't expect this. I was surprised by this. You get the Sailor Scouts save the day.
Yeah, all three of them. Working well together, too. Yeah. And then Nephrite, his last words as he was dying was to Naru, "I'm glad I met you."
Yeah.
And I thought...
And he fades away. And Naru just screams her guts out in the middle of the forest, it's not fair, it's not fair. Why did this have to happen? Yeah. And the Sailor Scouts look at her with empathetic,
eyes.
Empathetic eyes, yeah.
Yeah.
And this was a heck of an episode.
And it ends on a very somber note like that. And it actually made us, the viewers, feel bad for Nephrite and actually want him to survive. The whole time we're like, get rid of this guy.
Yeah,
he's trying to. He's evil.
He's part of the dark.
Part of the Dark Kingdom. You inevitably want him to die, and then
the power of love, right?
The power of love.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah,
incredible episode. I haven't felt like this since Goku and the Cell Saga. When I reviewed that, that was
really
that was
really
emotional.
When did that come out?
1990, probably about 1994.
Okay, I was pretty young.
Yeah,
I would have been like 3 years. 4.
As we could, this isn't Dragon Ball.
It's not Dragon Ball. I'd like to leave that out.
All right. Well, thank you for watching. This was a great episode.